They have something that works. It works really well. There's no problem with the rare earth magnet-based motors, except that little problem that one country controls 90% of the supply chain, and the whole world is reeling under that right now. So I think that is the biggest hurdle we have to overcome. And I think slowly it's changing once they know the products are working, and we get also as hopefully a gentle push from the regulatory authorities, the government. I think we should see a lot more deployment. We're also seeing a lot of interest from outside India. This rare earth problem is a worldwide problem.
Hi, wherever you're joining me, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to India Tech Reports in Conversation, a podcast bringing you insights from entrepreneurs, investors, industry leaders, and other stakeholders in India's deep tech and climate tech ecosystems. I'm Hari Arakli, and my guest today is Bhaktha Keshavachar, founder and CEO of Chara Technologies in Bengaluru. Chara is at the forefront of a technological shift that could reshape for the better India's electric mobility landscape and potentially make an impact overseas as well. The mission is both urgent and ambitious to build high performance electric motors that are free of the conventional magnets which need rare earth metals, a critical component in most electric vehicles and industrial machines today. Bhaktha and his fellow founders, Ravi Prasad, the chief motor designer, and Mahalingam Koushik, the CTO at Chara, are engineering veterans from industry, each one bringing decades of experience to their entrepreneurial journey. It started in late 2019, just as the world was heading into the uncertainty of the COVID pandemic. Recognizing the strategic and environmental risks posed by global dependence on rare earth minerals, most of which are controlled by a single country, China, Bhaktha and his co-founders set out to engineer an alternative to the conventional motors. The result is a new generation of what are called reluctance motors, designed and manufactured in India, that match or surpass the efficiency of traditional permanent magnet motors, while sidestepping the environmental and geopolitical pitfalls of rare earth mining. In this conversation, Bhaktha shares the technical and business challenges Chara has overcome, from early R&D pivots and tackling the challenge of a phenomenon called torque ripple in reluctance motors, to building a pilot production facility and securing important industry partnerships, including a manufacturing and distribution alliance with Greaves Cotton. He discusses the hurdles of deep tech entrepreneurship in India, the evolving talent landscape, and Chara's plan to take its products overseas. Whether you're a founder, investor, engineer, or simply curious about the future of cleaner technology, this episode offers an example of how Indian deep tech innovation is rising to meet one of the challenges of our times: building a sustainable, secure, and scalable electric future, one motor at a time. Bhaktha, thank you for doing this. I appreciate your time and great to be talking to you again at Chara, where your product in some ways reduces dependence on rare earth metals. For a general audience, let's start with maybe a minute or two of just a quick backgrounder about what Chara is about, why and how you all started this company, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Hari, for having me here. Much appreciated. Would love to talk about the few things you mentioned: deep tech, rare earths, and the new buzzword that is being thrown around, what is called a strategic autonomy. So Chara stands for motion in Sanskrit. Motion is fundamental for all of us. We have to go from point A to point B, run all of our machines. But the energy for all this motion is coming mostly from hydrocarbons, as we know today, and we now know the negative externalities of our hydrocarbon addiction. We have to move into an electric future, a clean energy future. But in this future, motors will become important. They'll be electric motors. They'll be at the heart of every machine, as we call it. They'll be the future engines of the economy. The only way to build an efficient motor today, which are used in all traction and other high efficiency applications, is through a technology called PMSM or BLDC motors. The common thing about these motors is that they have these magnets in them which make them work. These magnets are usually called NdFeB magnets, neodymium ferrous boron magnets. The common thing about the magnets is that they use these rare earth minerals, uh, which make them magnetic. So, rare earth minerals are the 17 elements in the periodic table, which are critical for our electric future and other applications too, especially defense. The problem with rare earths are very fairly well known. The top three we would like to point out is that they're expensive, they are difficult to mine and earth both environmentally and economically. The mining and extraction of rare earths is an environmentally hazardous process. Every ton of rare earths generates, every ton of rare earth extraction, mining and extraction generates 2,000 tons of toxic radio waste. See, there's another problem with the ores of rare earths. They generally occur with radioactive elements. So only China has figured out this whole mining and extraction process, both from a technology and this whole process thing, which we are now feeling the full heat, is that one country, our neighbor China, has 90 plus percent control over the supply chain. And because of a previous announcement by the new administration in the US, China started an embargo on the rare earth exports worldwide. And that has created a, a huge problem all over the world. There have been what we call as factory line stops in advanced economies and in even in our economy, because even though these rare earth magnets, I should say, they're fairly small portion of the whole product. It is a critical piece. Without that, electric vehicle production will come to a stop, and it has come to a stop at many places, and it will come to a stop at more places now. So there are there are three ways to solve this problem. One is, we also have to start mining and extraction, and governments all over the world are looking at it seriously, including our government. The second one is we can look for magnets which don't use rare earths, and people are looking at it: iron nitride magnets, magnesium, strontium magnets. But it takes about 10-15 years to productionize this. The other solution is technology solutions. There are technologies which have been around but not have been productionized. And Chara, based out of Bangalore, India, is has worked on a technology like this called reluctance motors for the past 5 years. We now have products which we manufacture in our own facility in Bangalore, which we are shipping to customers both in India and outside India. Just to reiterate, our motors do not use the rare earth magnets. We deliver the same performance and even at a slightly smaller price, even though we don't advertise the price advantage too much.
Can you give us a sense of your current products? What might be their typical applications?
So we have products ranging from 8 kilowatts to 20 kilowatts with voltages from 48 to 96 volts. We designed these products primarily to target the two-wheeler, three-wheeler, and the small four-wheeler market in India, because that's a dominant market in India. We do supply to a few three-wheelers and a couple of two-wheelers and a small four-wheeler application. But what we have also seen is that a motor is a motor which converts electrical energy into mechanical energy. We have found a lot of other applications like agricultural equipment, industrial equipment, forklifts, golf carts, and a bunch of other compressors, bunch of other applications which still demand a high efficiency, 90 plus percent efficiency, which was hitherto possible only with permanent magnet based motors, and we are now delivering that to customers. Also, we are now in the pre-production stage of a larger motor, a 40 kilowatt motor, 320 volts, liquid cooled, which is suitable for a tractor. A tractor is one of our first customers, and also which can propel a small car.
And any interesting partnerships in the industry, and uh, where are you finding the most sort of immediate traction for your products?
So the immediate traction for our products is incidentally not coming from on highway vehicles like two wheelers, three wheelers. It's coming mostly from the what we call as the off highway agricultural equipment, golf carts, industrial equipment, what we call as turf care equipment, and compressors. We also have customers now in the on highway segment, primarily in the three wheeler area, and the two wheeler is just starting off. We are fundamentally a tech company. We have worked for 5 long years on the technology, to develop, to not only do R&D to develop these products and productionize it in our own pilot production facility in Bangalore. And we also have now a partnership with a large company, Greaves Cotton. It's now officially GCL, Greaves Cotton Limited, wherein they will produce our motors under license from Chara and sell it to their customers. We announced this partnership last month, and that is giving us more traction with customers. Uh, the I think one of the worries about customers signing up with us is what we usually call in the startup world as a startup risk. So if you're a large company, if you want to use our product, which is at the heart of your machine, you would be worried about a startup, because not to say anything bad, startups do disappear. Uh, and so with Greaves on our side, to manufacture and sell, we have more traction with the large, especially large customers.
If you're comfortable with this, can you give us a rough idea of how many products you've shipped today and any
Yes.
customers that you can name?
Sure. Uh, sure. So we developed the products. We kind of narrowed down on the product range in late 23. We started shipping initial samples the whole of last year. Takes a long time to productionize a motor, and we started at the factory. We tooled up the factory. Tooling is very important in manufacturing motors, and we started shipping our initial quantities in the first quarter of this year, from January, February, March quarter. So we have shipped 425 motors, or a little more, to various customers. And we are now shipping about this quarter about 150 plus motors a month, to both customers in India and a couple of customers outside India. The most noteworthy customers, all our customers are noteworthy. The ones which I want to mention in no particular order is a company called Bulwark, which is based out of Bangalore, which is doing very interesting products for the industrial uh, equipment, and also agricultural equipment. We also have VST, a large publicly traded company. Um, uh, they are also using our motors for their agricultural equipment. And we have Greaves, which is not only a manufacturing partner, is also a customer for their three wheelers, both passenger and auto rickshaw. And a few other large customers have signed up, both in the three wheeler and other applications.
So now your future capacity expansion, will that happen via the Greaves partnership, or do you still want to build your own commercial grade factory?
So we have what we now call as a pilot production facility, which can do at its full capacity about 2,000 motors a month, which is about 25,000 motors a year. This will satisfy all our revenue goals for the next 24 months. So this financial year and next financial year. Beyond that, so basically we have three choices. One is, we can also put up one larger factories. The Second option is we are planning to do contract manufacturing. There are large manufacturers in the usual industrial belts in India, which is Coimbatore, Pune, Ahmedabad, where there are large motor companies which can manufacture our motors. And the other one is, as you mentioned, Hari, through the manufacturing partnerships. So the manufacturing partnership is actually a misnomer because they do manufacture. They have large capital and processes and the capacity to manufacture, and they have a large factory. But more importantly, they have the distribution. So we do not have the distribution. So, for example, I'll pick a name. I mean, no, this one. I cannot go and talk to a large company like Mahindra. We have not spoken to them, so that's why I can say that. So, because not because they don't like us or anything of that sort, because we're a small company. As I said, they look for large, stable companies to be their suppliers. So, companies like Greaves will give us that advantage in terms of selling to large customers. So the distribution is key, and definitely they do have the reach outside India too.
Would you say at this point you have more or less overcome the first set of technical hurdles and you have
Correct.
a stable product now?
Yes. So, just as a little bit of history, when we started the company in late 2019, we wanted to build the rare earth free motors. We knew that the rare earth would be a problem in the long future, and unfortunately, that has come true this quarter. The and we wanted to use the reluctance technology, and there are two kinds of reluctance motor. There's something called switched reluctance motor, SRM. Like most people, like many other startups all over the world, we also tried building a switched reluctance motor. We took about 1.5 years. We built half a kilowatt motor, 5 kilowatt motor. I think we were able to satisfy all the requirements, but the noise and the torque ripple is just unmanageable. So for a half a kilowatt motor, if you stand like about a meter away, the noise level is about 75 to 80 dBm. I mean, this is 75 to 80 dBm is huge. It's very close to standing next to a jet engine. So, and that is when we switched. We did a pivot, a technical pivot to synchronous reluctance motors. So we took another 3 years to develop the technology. We have made fundamental R&D in motor design, hardware, and critically the software algorithms that control the motor. The biggest problem with the reluctance motor is its non-linearity, which is makes it difficult to control, and we have conquered that with putting a little bit more computing power and the algorithms to make it work. So we have now overcome, as you said, all the technology hurdles and the manufacturing hurdles, and we now have products which we are selling to our customers. I would also like to say that our products are now certified by ARAI for on-highway applications, and also ICAT of Delhi.
Can you talk about what have been some early takeaways in terms of feedback from customers, adoption of the technology? What are some things that were good and surprised you, and what are some things that need more work?
Yeah. So when we started selling our motors about a year ago, a little more than a year ago, the the three big questions that were asked to us by everybody is that where have you deployed this technology before? No, nowhere. This will not only be the first in India, it will be the first in the world when it is deployed in large numbers. The second one is what are the long-term reliability and safety numbers. Now we have done a lot of simulation, accelerated testing, but we still don't have all the data. And the third one, which I mentioned before, Hari, is the startup risk. So we overcame this through a combination of, we put motors in commercially available vehicles, tested it, got the data, and showed it to people to convince them. The second one is we uh, we started working with slightly smaller companies which have a little bit more appetite for risk, just like us, and also companies which are in the transition from ICE to EV. which had not yet made the transition. So they were in a hurry. So I think these gave us an initial push. And of course, since 2 months, uh, pretty much even larger companies are coming to us because China has shut off the rare earth magnet valve. And now we don't have to at least tell the story of rare earths. The second thing is, of course, then there were two other surprises, which was surprise to me. I mean, in hindsight, it looks obvious. One is that we won our customers not only because of the rare earth problem and our product advantages. We won our customers because of the support we give to them, since we do everything from first principles, electromagnetics, mechanicals, hardware, and software. We can provide service and integration support like nobody else can. The second one is the we built this factory taking a big risk, and now we have realized that customers place an order only after seeing the factory. So if you know Bangalore, our R&D facilities in HSR, Pina is factories in Pina, kind of opposite sides of the city. Last year everybody used to come to HSR, talk to us. Now they completely skip the HSR. They go to Pina because now they know the products are working. And so I think these are the two big learnings we had: the integration support and the manufacturing capability is giving us uh, the strength necessary to win the customers.
Your 5 years as a company today, um, give us an update on your funding, any well known investors, the size of your team, size of your engineering team, things like that. Anything else you want to highlight?
Sure. We started in late 2019, like in November of 2019. We got incorporated that time, just as the pandemic was enveloping the planet. So we are a classic COVID company. So we were also like got unawares in the first quarter of 2020. Then our first break we got was a grant by the Indian Institute of Science. I think they are one of the few people who understood that time that this is of strategic importance. And so we got the funding, we got the grant, we started building motors. And then in 21, we raised our first round of investment, the seed round. Uh, IIM Ahmedabad Ventures. They were the first one to, give us the term sheet. Then Kalari joined. Kalari led the round. And after that, we started building the products. Then in 23 Jan, about a little more than 2 years ago, we raised our pre-series A round, led by Xfinity and Big Capital, with good participation from Kalari and IMA Ventures. And in terms of team size, we are 75 people today. We are still R&D heavy. 50 plus people are engineers. And in the future, the R&D will grow slowly, and the manufacturing and business development will grow faster. And I think one thing I wanted to point out here is that building a motor and controller needs a spectrum of capabilities, from electromagnetics to mechanicals to hardware and software. So our team closely reflects that. We're also been very fortunate that we not only got fantastic graduates from prestigious institutes in India and not so prestigious institutes, and we also got people of Indian origin coming back from Europe and US. So we have graduates from Vienna, PhD from Vienna University, graduates from Carnegie Mellon. Because we are doing like fundamental core engineering work, we do attract significant talent.
At the ecosystem level, can you give us a sense of how the landscape is changing? Obviously, because of the very well established auto industry, for example, there is an existing base of the traditional manufacturing kind of.
Yes.
technologies and assembly lines and all of these things. But in your case, you're more of a deep tech plus high tech manufacturing kind of company, and there's a lot of software aspects to your product. What is the ecosystem like for you? What is good? What is missing?
So I think there is still to use our famous phrase inside the company. There's still reluctance to use the reluctance motors, uh, by especially by the larger companies. They have something that works really well. There's nothing, no problem with the rare earth magnet based motors, except that little problem that one country controls 90% of the supply chain, and the whole world is reeling under that right now. So I think that is the biggest hurdle we have to overcome. And I think slowly it's changing once they know the products are working, and we get also as hopefully a gentle push from the regulatory authorities, the government. I think we should see a lot more um, deployment. We're also seeing a lot of interest from outside India. This rare earth problem is a worldwide problem. And I think some continents like Europe are a little bit more sensitive about rare earths than others. That's why we have customers there. And US is also a potentially a large customer because of the twin happenings, which is the rare earth embargo, and of course the tariff thing that happened uh, earlier this quarter.
And in your own supply chain, are you able to source all the components that you need locally? Do you need to import anything?
So, good question, Hari. So, our product has the motor and the controller. So, the motor, all the components are sourced from India, which is basically aluminum, steel, copper, and ferrite magnets. So, there are many sources, and which is probably true for most countries in this world. On the controller side, we make the PCBs, we make the heat sink, we make the plastic, this one, we make the seals. But the semiconductors are still coming from outside. As you know, we still do not have any semiconductor manufacturing capability in India. But the good thing is it's not all coming from one country. It's coming from many countries. So we are not dependent on one single country. Hopefully that will get fixed. And we know that bunch of the manufacturers, the initial semiconductor manufacturers, will do lot of the components we need. We have spoken to them. Sagar Semiconductors, Tata Electronics. So we've given them our requirements, and it will be a great thing someday if the at least 30 to 50% of the semiconductors come from India.
And on the talent pipeline side, especially in areas like civil engineering, for example, the chairman of L&T is now well known for talking about how there aren't enough young graduates, computer science taking up everything,
Yeah,
or at least everyone preferring that.
yeah.
In For your company, is that also a problem? Or I mean, basically,
Yeah.
are you relying on hiring smart young people and then training them a lot, or do you get some degree of experience?
So yeah, that is a big problem, Hari. I think as a country, as a society, we have moved away from core engineering. Um, Everybody wants the easy way out by writing Python code or C code. So that is a big problem. I think the Bajaj folks have spoken about it. The L&T folks have spoken about it. Core engineering like electromagnetics, mechanicals, thermals. Uh, there has been not much interest, both from the academia and the students. I'll blame mostly the students, because the the computer science and the information technology is a sought after discipline. Um, but there are a few people who still like to do whatever is their calling nowadays, and so we have hired those graduates. Um, And to the second part of the question, we have hired mostly recent college grads, not fresh. There's a term called RCGs, which is typically 3 to 5 years of experience. And we have hired them and trained them, and that is how we have grown. Um, we neither have the money to hire senior people, um, um, or and the resources, um, nor I think we can find senior people who can do the kind of work, because we do everything from first principles. So the guys in the electromagnetics team have to know the full understanding of Maxwell's equations. I don't know whether anybody has seen Maxwell's equations. I think it's rated as the top 12 equations in this world, and very few people in this world understand that. So we have to understand that kind of level of core. It's not even engineering, sometimes it's physics. That is the kind of this one. And that is a problem. I think it is slowly changing. One trend I have seen, Hari, is that um, as a country, as a society, as we prosper, uh, our kids uh, tend to do whatever they like. So they don't have to worry too much about sustenance. So I think that will change. Hopefully, there are people going into mechanical out of their sheer interest, going into automotive. Um, Not sure about civil. Since you mentioned, I'm kind of far away from that. So our areas are mechanical engineering, electronics, and of course software.
Okay. On the money part, are you now at a stage where you need fresh funding, and are you talking to investors?
Yeah, yeah. So we are talking to investors right now to complete our current round of funding, with fairly advanced talks, to basically grow our uh, sales and business development, our integration teams, and of course manufacturing, to start our large scale deployments both inside and outside India. And So we are a deep tech hardware company, so we're not exactly darlings of the venture capital industry. So it is tough, but at least some of the externalities that are happening will hopefully help us.
Are you comfortable sharing how much money you want to raise, ideally?
Yeah, yeah. So we are looking at about 60 to 75 crores. About How will that translate to? Yeah, less than $7 to $8 million, right? Yeah, or maybe close to $10 million. Yeah. So that is the kind of. So we raised $5 million in pre-series A. So we need about $10 million now, to scale up the deployment.
And that would take you over the next 2 years
Correct. It will take
comfortably?
us to 2 years, and then we are targeting a revenue of about $5 million this financial year, uh, and a lot more in the subsequent financial year. So that will set us up for one more jump to become a truly sustainable business.
Over the next 12, 18 months, what might be your top priorities? I mean, both in terms of product development as well as in terms of your business expansion. What would you say, if things go well, what would you like to achieve over the next 12 to 18 months?
No, all our goals, mind share in the company is targeted only towards one thing: sales and deployment. Um, So I know this might be a cliche. The company has, at a fundamental level, has to do only two things: build products and sell. And I, like a idiot, thought that if you have a good product, it will sell by itself. But unfortunately, this product and selling are not correlated. You still have to sell. So right now, as you mentioned earlier, we across the technology hurdle, we have the products. Now is the selling phase and deployment phase. So everything is geared towards that, and we continue to develop new products. As I mentioned, the 320 volts 40 kilowatt liquid cooled motor, and we're also planning to build a 70 kilowatt motor, which can propel a passenger car, and many other applications.
You mentioned potential or for selling in the US or Europe earlier on in the conversation. Is that something that you'd like to attempt in the foreseeable future, or would you
Yes.
want to hold off?
So now that we have the products deployed and there is proof that our products work, it is time. That's what we have decided internally and at the board level to put significant effort into business development in Europe and US. And of course, we have a few tailwinds that are helping us. So we are participating in a large trade show in Chicago in August, and we will go from there.
Okay, whether it's in the US or Europe, I'm thinking that there must be other companies which are also
Yes.
developing similar products, etc. What would be your game plan in terms of how would you stand out or compete?
Yeah. So there are a bunch of companies all over the world, startups looking at it. Uh, there is Turntide based out of Palo Alto, California. There is a company in Canada. There's a company in UK working on similar tech because it's a worldwide problem. We are the only ones which have products which are being deployed in the field. So we have about 2 3 year head start, um, and we have to continue to invest in R&D and stay ahead. Unlike any other tech company, we have filed a bunch of patents, which will give us a little bit of protection, and we have made them worldwide applicability also. And from a purely business point of view, we need to start deploying and gain a business traction, which will also give us an advantage.
That's it for today. You can find links to Chara's website and Bhaktha's profile in the description of this episode. For my daily pick of headlines on India's deep tech and climate tech ecosystems, do check out my India Tech Report Daily Morning Brief podcast. And if you'd like to support my work, please subscribe to my newsletter, India Tech Report. I'm Hari Arakli. Thank you for listening.